Hi, I'm Mrs McTaggart, and in today's video we're going to be looking at composite shapes made up solely of rectangles. So composite means two things stuck together. You may have been in a primary composite class at primary before, which means P1 mixed with P2 or something like that. But composite just means composes of more than one thing. So we're looking at examples of rectangles stuck together. And I'm just going to go straight into it. So here's my first example. Now to do this we have to split it up into 1, 2 or 3 rectangles. Now there is no set way of doing this. I could split it into rectangles. Oh, let's change my pen colour. I could split this into 2 rectangles this way, or I could split it into 2 rectangles that way. I mean, I could even split it into 3 little rectangles if I wanted. The answers will work out the same both ways. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go with my original plan. I'm going to split it this way. And I'm going to call this area A and this area B. And I'm just going to make my pen a little bit thicker because it's not really showing up here. Okay, so area A, here is how I'll lay out my working. So I'll write area A equals, remember a rectangle is length times breadth. So that's the formula I'm going to be using for all of these. So the length and breadth of this little rectangle here is 3 by 4. Sometimes it's handy to trace it around with your finger or your pen a couple of times because that 10 isn't actually part of that rectangle. So 3 times 4 is 12, and that's the area of the little one. Then I'm going to do the big one, which is area B. So I'm going to trace around that one. So area B is this length by that length. So it's 11 tall, 6 wide. The 10 and the 8 are not part of that. Well, they are part of it, but they're not the actual dimensions. So that is 11 times 6 for that rectangle. So area B is 11 times 6, which is 66. And the last thing to do is do your total area, which when you add them together, now the layout I'm doing here makes it lovely to then add together if they're not easily done mentally. Add them together, we have 78 square centimetres. Now, sometimes I like to just prove that I could have split it the other way and get the exact same answer. So what I'm very quickly going to do is I'm going to split it this way now, just to prove to you that it was the same. So I'm going to call this one A and this one B. Okay, so area A this time is 3 by 10. So 3 times 10 for the first one, which is 30. And area B is 8 down by 6, so 8 by 6. This is why I had those other numbers in there. So area B is 8 times 6, which is 48. And then our total area, when we add them together, gives us the same answer as before, 78 square centimetres. Now I won't do that with everyone, it was just to prove that it didn't actually matter which way we split that one up. So these are classed as your simple ones, there's no missing dimensions. On this, however, there are some missing dimensions. So we're going to just chat about finding them first of all. Now to do this, what we have to do is you need to look at your horizontal and vertical lines. Now just a quick reminder, vertical is up and down, horizontal is left and right. So think of your horizon, the sea goes that way. Vertical, think of the blinds that you might have in your window in your school or at home. The vertical blinds go straight up and down. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at our vertical numbers first of all. So we've got a rectangle here. I'm just going to split this one up into a rectangle. If it's 4 on the left, on the right, sorry, then it's also 4 on the left. Now, if up to here is 4, we need to know what this extra little bit is. The full height of this big rectangle is 7, so we've only come up 4 so far. That other bit must be 3. So the missing length over in this side is 3. So what we really did there is we just subtracted our vertical numbers. Now we're going to look at our horizontal numbers. This little bit here on this rectangle is 5, because it's 5 above. And then we're going to look at the 12. So this full length here is 12. But we've only covered 5, so this extra bit here must be 5 plus whatever makes 12, or 12 take away 5, which is 7. So now we've got our missing lengths, we have a choice. Do we split vertically or do we split horizontally? It is entirely up to you now, we've got all the missing lengths. I think I'm going to go split vertically, and I've already proven in the last example, doesn't matter which way you do it as long as you do your correct numbers. So I'm going to call this one A and B. So area A is this rectangle here, which is 5 by 7. So 5 times 7, which is 35. Then we're going to do area B, which is 7 along, 4 down. So area B is 7 by 4. And 7 times 4 is 28. And to finish it off, we get our total. And I've laid it out to do a sum if that's too difficult to add mentally. 5 add 8 is 13. And then 3 plus 2 plus 1 is 6. So the total area of this one is 63 square centimetres. So I have one more example. This one, there's 2 different ways to do it. Now I could do what I've done before, and I could do area A, area B, and then area C. But I don't know if anyone can see a different thing going on in this one. To me, this looks like a big rectangle that I have just taken a little bite out of. So I'm going to treat it as this one, and then I don't need to work out any of these missing lengths. So what I'm going to do is I am going to look at this outside rectangle here. Let me just change my pen again, it's a wee bit too fine. So I'm going to look at this outside rectangle here. The full thing that was green before I took a bite out of it. I'm going to call that area A. Now that would be 8 times 12. Now 8 times 12 is 96. Then I'm going to look at the little bit that's been chopped out, which is clearly 6 by 3. 6 by 3 is 18. Now, where I added before, this time I'm going to subtract. So the total area was the 96 with the 18 bitten out, which gives me 16 take away 8 is 8 and 8 take away 1 is 7. Gives me an area of 78 metres squared this time. Now, just to prove that this could have worked by splitting it up into 3 different bits, I'm assuming this is symmetrical. So if this bit in the middle is 6, this little bit must be 3 and 3, because 6, 3 and 3 make 12. This area would be 24, 8 times 3. This one would also be 24, which is 8 times 3. And this one would be 5 by 6, which is 30. And if I do 30 plus 24 and add them all up, I also get 78. So 2 methods, but sometimes, even the other 2 I just did, you could have, when I've made this shape, you could do the whole outside shape minus this little bit if you want to as well, instead of splitting it into 2. It's entirely up to what you see, okay? So what we have is I've got this first slide has no missing lengths, so these are the easy ones, no missing lengths at all. So you can pause and try them. This slide here has some missing lengths, which I've put in by some question marks, and I've divvied them up for you into A and B, and then there's a couple there where it's up to you how you split them. One way is always easier to split than the other, I feel, depending on the numbers. And then if you're done trying them, there are answers. So you can unpause, and there are your answers there. I'm sorry they're handwritten, but they are there at least so you can check them. And there are the final answers. I hope this has helped. Thank you for watching.